Wytchwood is a quirky fairy tale adventure game following the journey of an old witch of the woods as she attempts to awaken a sleeping beauty. As you progress, you slowly reveal bits and pieces of the world, including your own history, since you suffer from amnesia, as well as capture the souls of those that corrupt and ensnare the world. Throughout the game, you'll gather a variety of resources, from mundane resources like seeds on the ground or twigs with which to make your most basic recipes, to more complex resources gathered by assembling traps, tools, and distractions to handle what can only really be considered enemies. Thanks to a fairly frequent respawning system, you would be hard-pressed to softlock yourself in a manner that is common in this type of game, so that is a definite plus, though it can be a bit frustrating since it is based on screen transitions rather than returning to a hub, so make sure that you have everything you need for a puzzle before starting it, or you may need to harvest more resources to start over from scratch. Thankfully, the game does help a bit with this, thanks to a witch vision mechanic that lets you see what recipes you need to overcome a challenge, such as meat to put a wolf to sleep or a doll to distract some goblins, all with the press of a single button. Along with these hints comes the actual recipes as well, since this vision is also how you're meant to obtain these new recipes, simply leaving you the task of figuring out where to gather these resources to craft the items necessary to solve the puzzle at hand. Story-wise, it seems to follow the standard fairy tale motifs, with a simple and straightforward motivation and design as part of each of the multi-part subquests, though with a slightly darker overtone at times, placing it somewhere between the more horrific old-style fairy tales and the candy-coated modern interpretations, which it handles fairly well in this middle ground. All of this plays well into the storybook aesthetic, which, while cartoony and brighter than most games that claim to be dark, as this one does in its press material, it's not overwhelmingly sugary either, with blood-sucking insects, goblins, wolves that will bite your toes off, and snarky pixies that hate being called fairies. The audience is definitely a specific niche of the gaming community, but the atmosphere and more laid-back gameplay has a strong following that this game will fit exceptionally well in. Control-wise, I found mouse and keyboard to be more satisfying than controller, but I wager you could adapt to using either, which is a good thing considering that this is on pretty much every modern platform short of mobile. This is also helped by the more chill pace the game takes, with even enemies giving ample warning of their actions and presence, usually, at least, giving you plenty of time to step back and plan your moves. As far as the music, it's exceptionally relaxing throughout most of the game, and is honestly something I would take a nap to if I had the opportunity, which helps this serve as a fairly good de-stressor of a game, despite having to solve various puzzles. Overall, I enjoyed my time with the game, though it feels like due to the amount of layers involved in at least the initial quest, the game overall may take quite a while to complete, especially with the task of needing to nab a dozen souls instead of just the 4 that you're initially given. Each of these souls contains its own involved storyline and quest line, so for people not used to a more methodical chill experience, it may overstay its welcome. But for those of you who like engrossing yourself in a world with gathering, crafting, and chill puzzle solving with good music and art, you'll be pretty happy here for the asking price of $20. As far as people who just want to rush through the story and learn what it's about, I would wait for a discount because this game is definitely more valuable to those who like to slow down and enjoy the scenery.